everyone, it is time for a new reading vlog and I'm starting it kind of looking a little bit rough. So my hair is still a little bit wet and I feel like this eye might look a little bit weird because a little bit of shampoo got into it. I am super excited to bring this vlog to you, so let's talk about what's going to be happening, what we're reading, what we're doing, and yes. So a few weeks ago at this point, I posted a vlog where I caught up on my Netgalley arcs, and I also read some other arcs. If you don't know what an arc is, it's an advanced reader's copy that readers can request, basically early copies of books for the purpose of reviewing them, and Netgalley is like one of the biggest websites where you can request review books, all of that. And so in that vlog, I wanted to catch up on my Netgalley score. I did a pretty decent job and I ended up with, I think, 72%. And I had so much fun with that vlog that I decided, and I think I even mentioned that I really want to do them monthly. And so I'm definitely behind because obviously, like, since I moved, this is actually like the first vlog I'm starting to film in here. I feel like it's not gonna be the first one that I put up, we'll see. But yeah, because of moving and all of that, I was obviously busy and didn't film for a while. And so it is March 30th. So I am starting it in March. It's just gonna be up, you know, in April. But like I am starting it in March, so obviously I don't want to worry about it too much, but I would love to do this kind of vlog monthly-ish. So let's, you know, look at my Netgalley, talk about the books that I am reading or want to read, all that. So I am so excited also because after the last video, I think I read one or two books that I didn't talk about. And so after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna request some books. And I got 3 of them like approved, and so I can read them with you and review them, and I'm so excited because like I was hoping for that to happen. I do have one physical book this time that I'm so, yes, excited. I'm sorry, I just can't, I just use the word way too much, but I don't know how to stop. So that is And They Lived Happily Ever After by Therese Biari. So basically what I did in my last vlog was that I read some of the, I read arcs that, you know, some of them were out already. So I kind of want to do that in here as well. I don't have as many books that were out as I had last time, I think. And so one of them is this one. So it did come out, and I got the arc quite close to the release date, and I think it was also like in December when I was just super busy. I always put too many things on my plate and I never manage anything. If I don't get to an arc on time, I really try my hardest if I can to get it a different way, you know, either like buy it physically, read an ebook, listen to an audiobook, whatever it is. Because like I just, you know, like I want to support the author and I feel bad if I just like, you know, so I try to do that generally. And with this book, I knew that I would love it. I had such a strong feeling that it would just be amazing, and I found it at a bookstore and it had to come home with me. And then one that I started that actually is already out as well is The 7 Rules of Moving On by Jess Hardy. So this is an adult contemporary romance novella. And I started reading this one, I think yesterday, and I think I got like 30% of the way through. And in this book, we basically have our heroine who is staying at this place, at this like, I don't know if it's like a motel or something, just, you know, like a place like that. And the hero works there, and he's a bartender there, and the two of them have a spark, you know, they like flirt together, all of that, but the heroine basically is leaving like tomorrow in the book when it starts. And then there's actually like the last thing that I read is a time jump. So I don't fully love time jumps in general, but we'll see how it goes in here. I think that's all I'm going to say about the plot, because obviously it's a novella and I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it's, you know, just like something is going to happen where they're going to be able to like run into each other again or something. But that is the first book I think that I'm going to finish and like read. And we'll see if then after that I'm going to get into this or a lot of the other books that I have, because I have a lot of options. But before I actually mention another book or something, I want to mention the score. So my Netgalley score is 70%. So I feel like we're already off to a pretty great start. I am super excited. I am so ready to read the other books. So I think the last one that I'm going to mention for now, and then, we're going to see along the way what ends up happening is an audiobook arc, which I'm so happy that Netgalley started doing that. I feel like there's still not that many Netgalley audiobook arcs, but one that I saw and got super excited for that I think I definitely want to read as well is An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. The cover is amazing, and I saw this, and I feel like I also saw something on Twitter, like a description or tropes or something that got me super excited, but at this point, I don't know what that was anymore. But this is, I think it says that Romeo and Juliet meets Chinese mythology in this magical novel by the New York Times bestselling author of The Astonishing Color of After. I'm super excited to read this, and it's coming out on April 12th, which is quite soon. It's in 2 weeks-ish, and so I want to get to it as soon as possible so that I read it on time. And yeah, so those are the main plans for now, but again, I have so many other options. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I am so happy to read these books and share it with you, so I'm gonna shut up now and update you when I read the next book.
Midnight and city lights on the other side. You're calling me up at the same time. I'm in the daylight. You're calling to say hi, but your words they cry. If there's something that you need to say, I know it ain't easy living inside your brain for sure. You keep telling me that it's all okay, but I know, yeah, your silence speaks so loud. Your silence speaks so loud. And I hear you calling out, yeah.
It is time for an update, and I finished the 7 Rules of Moving On yesterday, and I reviewed it, and I'm now at 73%. I ended up giving it like a 3 star. I enjoyed it. It was super easy to read, and I ended up flying through it. I really liked the small town setting. I liked the characters. It was just a fun time. I just didn't fully adore it, didn't fully fall in love. And there were like two main things that I didn't really like in it. First of all, like a smaller thing was that sometimes the dialogue kind of felt strange. But it didn't bother me too much, and it wasn't all the time, but it was something that I noticed. The main thing that lessened my enjoyment was the conflict, because I just felt like it would be so easy to resolve, and that made it frustrating. And then I just felt like the characters were being really immature in some moments, and there was some miscommunication and just different little frustrating things like that just I didn't really like. Besides that, it was still really fun, and so I'm glad I finished that. And so then today I started And They Lived Happily Ever After by Therese Biari. I was trying to decide what to read, and I didn't know, and I want to start a different reading vlog first. That's my first full reading vlog in the new apartment, and so I want to prioritize that a little bit before we fully dive into this vlog. But I was in a physical reading mood, and I was just looking around, and I could not decide what I wanted to read next. And so then I just looked at this book. I took it out of my bookshelf and put it on my table, and I just kept looking at it, and I was like, you know what is happening? And I'm so happy that I picked this. I got to page 44, and I'm loving it already, and I'm so happy. And the book already had me at the first line, which is, I think, you took a book to a party. And yes, absolutely relatable. We love to see it. And this also has anxiety representation. I already feel so connected to the main characters. I'm rooting for them so hard and I'm so excited. So I feel like I'm not gonna actually describe the plot just yet. I'm gonna describe it next time that I talk to you about this book. It's not fully clear just yet. I am so excited, and a trope that is in here is like best friend's brother, which isn't a trope that I actually like that much. But what I do like about it, a part of it, is that like they knew each other when they were younger, and the hero had a crush on the heroine. He wasn't gonna do anything about it. Like those vibes, I'm absolutely here for. The only thing that bothers me in tropes like this, like the main thing that like makes me not enjoy it sometimes, is the brother. The brother always asks like he owns everything and everyone and he gets to make all the decisions, and I just don't understand, and like it irritates me so much. But absolutely not ruining this book's like experience because I just love it so much. I am desperate to read more books by Therese already, and so I think I'm gonna read another one super soon after finishing this. The last thing that I want to mention is that the upcoming book by Casey McQuiston, which I forgot the exact title, I don't remember the character's name. It's I Kissed Someone. But I'm gonna put it up on the screen. You might already know what I'm talking about, anyways. I'm really excited for this, and I actually need to check what age category this is. If it's once again kind of like new adult. But either way, it's a book that I'm super excited for, even though I basically don't remember anything about the plot. But what else is new? And the point that I'm trying to get to is that this book is coming out in, I think, May, and it is on Libra FM's ALC like book list thingy. So if you didn't know, Libra FM is like an audiobook platform, I guess, company. Uh, yeah. And it is unfortunately only like the actual Libro FM like normal thing is only available in the US for now. So I've never actually used it for like to buy audiobooks, but I do know that it works in a super similar way to Audible, but you can actually support different indie bookstores and different things like that. But what is available everywhere, at least like I think definitely in more places than the US, is the ALP program, which is basically something that you can apply for if you just are a reviewer of any kind and you have some kind of social media platforms. Doesn't matter which ones, I think, not really. And so you can apply for that, and every single month there is a selection of audiobooks that you can download for free and read and review, like listen to and review them and like share them and whatever. So once again, like I do want to focus on the Netgalley arcs, but last time I included some other random arcs that I had different ways, and I think I'm gonna do that in here and in the future as well, because like while it's super fun and satisfying to see the Netgalley score go up, I still feel like it's super fun and amazing to include the other books in here. So I might start the audiobook soon, because like I haven't been listening to any audiobooks recently at all, and I also miss that, and so I might like switch between the two books. So I'm gonna talk to you soon with some other updates. Hi everyone, so I'm doing another makeup list update and I'm gonna try to embrace it, and I'm also wearing the shirt that I slept in, but I absolutely love this one. One of my wonderful friends gave this to me. So I finished And They Lived Happily Ever After by Therese Biari today. And I just really like, I have been feeling like reading physical books so much, and that like I love that. I absolutely love that. For me, this is such a unique romance, and I'm pretty sure now that I think about it, I didn't really describe it. So this book for the most part is like a contemporary romance, but it's like basically not entirely contemporary. It has some magic in it, so I don't know if you want to call it like fabulism or like a paranormal romance. I'm not sure. Either way, it's like both of the main characters are human and nothing supernatural is going on, except for the fact that our heroine has a magical power that everything she writes comes to life in her dreams. So she's just like living this life that, like, in real life, she just doesn't really feel safe. She doesn't let people in. She's really lonely and she kind of hides and runs away to the dream world every single day that she can write in whatever way she wishes. And that just kind of like protect her from, getting hurt. And she grew up in the foster system and she never got the care and love that she needed and deserved. And then she meets Jacob and they kiss and, have a moment. And she also has anxiety, so there is anxiety representation in here, and I always love to see that. And so what ends up happening is that Jacob, the hero, and Gaia, the heroine, actually end up seeing each other in a dream. So it is just seriously like one of the most unique romances that I've ever read. And if you're craving something that is not contemporary but isn't like fully like fantasy or paranormal, just something in between, definitely pick this one up. I also just absolutely love author romances. So this was just really fun and the romance was so sweet and I loved Gaia as a heroine. I kind of thought that like it would all happen and like develop really quickly at first, but then it actually kind of ends up being a slow burn romance because both the main characters have a lot of like reservations and a lot of things that hold them back from like immersing themselves in the love and in the romance. So it takes them a long time to like figure out that like the two of them are like the best thing for each other and they need each other and they love each other and all of that. So if you like sweet slow burn romances with magic, super focused on the main characters, definitely pick this one up. So I am so happy that I could buy it and then I read it. Definitely recommend you check it out. Then I started another book that I'm super excited for, and I literally got approved for 3 things today, and I actually read a thing as well. But let me take my laptop because like I feel like I forgot everything already. Let's see my Netgalley shelf. So I basically found a collection of poetry called My Heart is My Ink by Emma Lucen C. And this was completely random, like I was trying to find new things because like I used to hold myself back a lot from requesting new things because at first I was like I have to build up my like number of approvals and whatever, and then I was like I need to get my score up to be able to request new things that I actually want and whatever, and so I didn't really request anything. But like a month or 2 ago, and after doing my video, I was ready to request other things. And like there are it happens quite often, unfortunately, that I can't request a book, that I have it on a wish for it. I think that is the case when you like don't live in the US, and like I don't know how it works. I don't know why they do that, but yeah, but there are some books that I have found that I could request that I was just super excited for, and so I started requesting, and I feel like at this point I requested at least maybe like 8 things. I don't know. That's a lot for me because again, I never really requested it before, and I feel like there's still more that I want to request. And so when I like a month ago when I requested something, maybe even more, again, I'm kind of lost in time. I don't know, maybe like a month and a half ago or 2, something along those lines. I requested multiple things and then, like I waited for weeks and nothing happened. And again, like I'm still kind of new to requesting because I never really did it before. I often read books that I had on Read Now or whatever. And so I didn't know how long it normally took, but like never before when I did request something did it take that long. But then after a while, I think like around the beginning of the video or like last week or whatever, I did get 2 things approved. And today I got 3 things approved. So one of them was the poetry collection, and it was actually my first ever time that the publisher added me to their auto approval list. That never happened to me before, so it's not a publisher that I know. I think they're a really small publisher, but either way, super exciting. And so the book again that I requested, and actually like I requested it today and they approved me today. And so that was My Heart is My Ink. On Goodreads it looks like, actually even on Netgalley it says that the publishing date is January 1st, so like of this year, so it already came out. I feel like sometimes there are just publishers that put up titles that have been out for a while, on Netgalley to get more reviews. I read it immediately and I ended up giving it 4 stars. So it's a collection of poetry about like, really basic topics, but topics that I really enjoy reading about, being like heartbreak and loss and love and hope and like all of those things. And at the beginning of the book, I really was loving it and like so many of the poems resonated with me. I got so excited to read it. And then some of them like in the second half or like around the middle, it kind of like stopped resonating with me. I don't know if it was because it was repetitive or that like it just wasn't, there weren't the strongest poems in there. But after that, it just like wasn't completely amazing, but I still really enjoyed it. And again, there were some poems that really resonated with me. I liked the writing and I did read it super quickly, which is a really big bonus. Because lately, like now, like when I moved to this new place, I mean, since I moved, I feel like I don't know how to function. And what I mean by that is like my normal habits and ways of functioning and doing things are different now. Because like before, like I had a specific spot. I was always in my room. I always had my laptop and my books and whatever. And like I just had those little routines of how I read and like different things. And here it just feels really different. And that is like when it comes to listening to audiobooks, when it comes to reading physically, like all of that just works differently in little ways here. And I still feel like I haven't fully gotten used to reading here. And I don't know if that makes sense in any shape or form, but I feel like I also have a TV now, which I never had before, and I feel like that really changes things. Long story short, I enjoyed My Heart is My Ink, and it was really great that I could read it super fast and that I could focus on it because that's been difficult for me. So I would recommend it. Again, I do think it's out already, so if you want to check it out, do pick it up. It's really nice, super simple, like nothing absolutely, show-stopping, incredible, but it was really fun. So then the main book that I started that I'm so excited for is The Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett. So here's the thing. I literally yesterday, or maybe today, I always want to say I tweeted on Twitter. I posted on Twitter that basically like there was a tweet about, I don't know, whatever. The point of the tweet was that like so often it happens to me that I procrastinate on reading a book because I feel like I have such a strong feeling that I'm going to be like so in love with it that I don't want it to be over even before I start reading the book. And that is just so ridiculous, but a lot of people actually agreed with me on the tweet, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. And it's like, it's a cool feeling because it's like, I'm gonna love this book so much, but then I'm like, I want to read it, so why am I not reading it yet? Because I'm so excited for it. And so the feeling I had, this feeling is one that I had with The Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett. So I still can't get over it. Ruby and I are mutuals on Twitter, and I absolutely adored her first book, Hot Copy, an incredible office romance. Absolutely, definitely pick it up. I need more people to read it. It is absolutely incredible. It also is like a more realistic way of looking at an office romance that actually addresses some issues that, like being a couple in an office setting can have and like all of that. And it's just such a wonderful romance. I adored it. And so The Romance Recipe is like Ruby's second book that is also sapphic and like set around like restaurants, food, and all of that. And I just like, I'm so excited for it. Like I have been procrastinating on it because I'm like, I can't like it. Hello. Yeah, but today I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I need to read it. I'm dying to read it. I have to read it. And so I started it. I got to like 12%. So I think I'm going to describe it a little later because I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but I'm so invested already. I love it so much and I'm so excited. I also feel like lately I've been kind of trying to learn to focus more on food and like started watching like reality shows about food, and I'm trying to like fall in love with cooking and food and all of that. And so like that, it makes me even more excited to read it. And so I'm just so ready and I'm so excited. So I'm going to talk to you more in detail about this book. Another book that I've been procrastinating on that I'm just so excited for that. Oh yeah, and the thing that I started saying that I forgot to say because I'm a fucking dumbass is that Ruby actually like sent me the arc to this book because that was actually one of the arcs that I couldn't request because it was on Wish For It on Netgalley. I was fucking heartbroken. And then Ruby actually sent it to me, and it was just the sweetest thing ever. And I literally just cannot get over it. And I'm so grateful. And I just like, it's happened multiple times that authors did that, and I never understand. It's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, I deserve this, you know, like I feel like there's no point, but I just like appreciate it so much. And it is just the coolest thing ever, like, you know, especially with authors like just that I completely love and want to support, and all of that is just absolutely priceless and beautiful and amazing. And I just sometimes I talk about it with my normal non-bookish friends, and when I say those things that like I follow some authors and they follow me and like they send me their books sometimes, and that is just the coolest thing ever. And when I say it out loud, I'm like, I can't believe this is a thing. It is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, to be honest. And another wonderful, lovely author who sent me an ARC is Megan Frampton with 4 Weeks of Scandal. That is a historical romance. I've talked about Megan before. She's one of my favorite historical romance authors, and the series that this book is in is one of my favorites as well. I just love it so much. I have the second book here, which is Tall, Duke, and Dangerous. I owned the first book, had to leave it back home, but this is one that I am dying to reread because even though it's my favorite by Megan, I remember nothing about it. I literally forgot all details. I feel like the reason is that I listen to it on audio, and sometimes like that is harder for me to then remember long term. But I just love this series, and I can't wait to read 4 Weeks of Scandal, and the cover is so beautiful, and I just know I'm gonna adore it. I've also been like dying to read more historical romances, and so I'm putting it out there. You know, I think it's time to stop procrastinating on this one as well and read it after the romance recipe, because like it's gonna be so good. And again, I feel like another issue is that I just for some reason keep waiting on so many books that I know I'm gonna love, that I either tell, like before I was telling myself I'm gonna read them after I move in my like new vlogs in the new apartment, and I still keep on like procrastinating on them, and I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like I need these books in my life now. And so that's just what's gonna happen. And yes, I'm gonna talk to you soon when I have some other updates. So it is time for an update. I don't fully remember what the last thing that I told you about was, but I just finished a book. I actually finished 2 books, and I need to give you some context. So, like I told you, I was dying to read The Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett. I think I updated you on it. I really like, I've been filming too many things at the same time, but long story short, I ended up doing a 24-hour readathon. Like I started yesterday, and you know, today I like finished the readathon, and I started the romance recipe before I started the readathon, and I was just like, I got like to 30%. And part of me, you know, at first I wanted to finish it before the readathon, but then I just kind of was running out of time and I didn't want to postpone it. And then I thought, you know, like I could read it after, but I just was loving it so much that I ended up reading it in the readathon where I talked about it the most. So that vlog is going to be up already. So I'm going to link down below and pop it up on the screen if you haven't seen it, so you can go check that out to hear my full thoughts. But long story short, I absolutely adored it, absolutely recommend it. It is incredible. If you are looking for a wonderful, steamy and sweet and fun adult sapphic romance, you need to read it. If you also love like restaurant, food, things in your books, you absolutely need to read it. So just pick it up, add it to your TBR, and pre-order it and all of that. It was a 5-star, obviously. It was everything that I wanted. So that is that book. And then I also finished An Arrow to the Moon by Emily XR Pan. I felt like I updated you about both of those books, but now I'm like, did I? So I don't remember telling you the plot of this one. And I'm also confused because oh, okay. It got fixed now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so after reviewing the romance recipe on Netgalley, I got to 74%. And then after reviewing An Arrow to the Moon, it stayed on 74%. And I was like, what is happening? I refreshed the page multiple times. It was still the same. I was so confused. But it just got to 77%. I am only 3% away from 80%. I'm so excited for that. And I'm just having so much fun doing this video. Like, seriously, again, it is literally like one of the most favorite things of mine that I've ever filmed. And I absolutely want to make it monthly. Like, I'm already like thinking about making the next part of this series. Like, like I'm definitely gonna read a lot more books in here because like I want to read as many as I can because I'm so hyped for all of them. But then I'm like, I'm gonna start another one immediately after I have too much footage. Like, it is just the best. So, anyways, let's get back to An Arrow to the Moon. This is definitely gonna be out by the time that you're watching this, so you can go pick up the book right away. I was interested in this book because Emily Exarpan is the author of The Astonishing Color of After, which is a book that I really loved. So I think that, like, if you loved The Astonishing Color of After and you want to read this book, I think you're gonna love it. Like, again, I loved The Astonishing Color of After and I loved An Arrow to the Moon. And I feel like while they're both really different stories with like different settings entirely, different like everything pretty much, but I feel like some of the qualities and like the vibe and like like the writing and just like some of the just main feelings that you get from the books are super similar. And so I think that like it's gonna feel like something new but still like Emily Exarpan, if that makes sense. And so I loved it, and I don't think I described the plot to you. I don't know what the official um genre is. And on Goodreads, the tags aren't really like trustworthy, to be honest. But either way, whatever. Like, doesn't matter what name we give it. If it's like contemporary fantasy, fabulism, at first it just feels like a contemporary book, but then there are some little magical elements to it, and those kind of increase along the way. I love that in books so much, and in here it was just so magical, beautiful, and just like so well done. And so it follows Hunter and Luna, and the two of them are obviously star-crossed lovers. Their families are just like they hate each other, they're enemies. But the two of them, like, while they're hesitant, to get close and like to talk at first, they really quickly just develop a bond, and they kind of become friends at first, and then it grows into more, and their love was just like so tender and sweet and beautiful, and I just like loved the romance so much, and it was definitely my favorite part of the book. But overall, it was just such a beautiful story, and it had so many emotions and so many things, and it just is going to make you feel everything from like happiness, joy, to sadness and hope and love and pain and everything in between. I feel like Emily Exarpan just has such impactful writing, and also the writing is just so fucking beautiful. And so this book is just definitely one that I recommend. And if you're a fan of Romeo and Juliet and you love the thought of like Chinese mythology also being a big part of the story, then definitely check this book out and pick it up. It is just really beautiful, and I highly, highly recommend it. And I definitely think, again, that like if you read this and you haven't read The Astonishing Color of After, I think you should definitely pick it up as well, and vice versa. So yeah, I don't fully know what the next book that I pick up is gonna be. I think I honestly should start 4 Weeks of Scandal. And if I want to pick up an audiobook, I do think I'm finally gonna start the Casey McQuiston book. And so 4 Weeks of Scandal is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. And just like The Romance Recipe, it is a book that I have been procrastinating on because I just know I'm gonna adore it, and I already don't want it to be over. I'm gonna shut up now. It is quite late, so I think I'm gonna go watch Schitt's Creek. I mentioned it in another video, I think. I started watching it for the first time. I know I'm late to the game. I just didn't have it available anywhere for ages, and I started it and I'm in love with it. I literally just got to episode 1 in season 3. And it's going by too fast, but I'm also just so fucking happy because, like, It shows how wonderful the show is because I don't binge watch shows lately. I really struggle with it actually. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi everyone. So this is a very different angle, but I just wanted to do a super quick update. I started reading 4 weeks of Scandal. Is that the name? And I'm at like 8%, but I just got so excited that I had to talk to you. Our two main characters just met, and both of them are like, what are you doing on my property? Like, you were an intruder. What's going on? And like, you need to get out of here. And they're both like, I own this house. Like, you need to go out. You need to get out. And so it looks like they're gonna like live together, which I didn't know. I literally like forced proximity is one of my favorite things ever. And if like it's just incredible. Like I just love everything about it. The heroine's father passed away, and the hero tells her that like his father got the house from him or something. And the heroine is like, absolutely not. Like, like I'm not leaving this place and all of that. So it is super exciting. And there's also a dog, which is really cute. We'll see how it continues, but yeah, as you can see, I am just like chilling on my couch. I'm cold, so I'm in the blanket, and I just want to have a cozy day. The past 2 days were kind of rough for me, and so I'm trying to rest, and reading is just exactly what I need. So I am so happy that I have this book. I already love it so much, and seriously, if you haven't read Megan Frampton's books yet, you have to. I recommend you either start with this series. You can obviously read them separately, but I do recommend the whole series. And I feel like the first book is also just like so easy to get into and so quick to get into and like just super fun. And I feel like that is actually the case with all of Megan Frampton's books. Like the thing that I love about it is that it almost never happens that they're like too slow. Like for me, I always get so invested in the characters really quickly, and I just fly through the books because sometimes with historical romance, I feel like they can be kind of slow in some parts. Another series that I would absolutely recommend you start with as well, if not this one, since like this one is the newest one, I recommend The Duke's Daughters. Absolutely love it. I still have 2 books left to read. I read it entirely out of order. But I definitely recommend it. Again, super easy to get into. It is about the Duke's daughters, so it's a group of sisters and they all get their own romances. There is just and the that series is like complete. And so with this one, I actually know that I think about it, I don't know if this is the last book, but I don't think it is. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up now. I do need to make lunch soon, but I'm so happy that I finally picked this book up. And I feel like it is perfect timing as well, because again, like I need comfort, and what better way to get comfort than a romance book by one of your favorite authors, you know? So I'm gonna talk to you soon. So it is time for an update. I have a super exciting update that I'm in shock. I am in shock. Honestly, I'm so happy. Like I needed this. It has been a rough week, and I also got rejected for 2 really exciting arcs that I requested, and I was just like not, like it was just the kind of thing that like everything piled up together, and I was not doing well. I hope you can't hear the noise in the background because I'm doing laundry. I am so excited. So today I was just chilling, doing my thing, and then I get an email that I got the arc of Bad at Love by Gabriella Martins, and I lost my shit. Like I lost my shit. I have the arc. I have the arc of Bad at Love, which is coming out on August 2nd in a long time. I it is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I absolutely adored Like a Love Song, the last book by the author. That one was just such an incredible YA contemporary romance, and I have been dying to read this one. I'm so happy. Thank you so much to the author and publisher and everyone, because I'm so happy to own this. So not only this, one of my most anticipated books, but I also got an email out of nowhere with the arc of Never Ever Getting Back Together by Sophie Gonzalez. Y'all, I didn't even fully know about this book for some reason. Like, I've seen it around. I knew it was a thing, but there was something in the process that my brain did that I wasn't sure the book would be for me for some reason. That is what I ingrained in my head. But I read the description now. I'm like, it sounds so good, and I adore Sophie Gonzalez. Like, Perfect on Paper is one of my absolute favorite books. And so obviously I'm dying to read this, and the description on here says a girl enters a reality dating competition to get revenge on her cheating royal adjacent ex-boyfriend and ends up falling for another girl on the show. In fact, the girl he cheated on her with. Like, oh my god, does that not sound amazing? And like, it's true that like it's probably gonna be really angsty and like dramatic and like a lot of different things like that, which I don't necessarily like a lot of drama in that way, but it's Sophie Gonzalez and it still sounds so good and so fun, and it's gonna be amazing. Like, I also don't know if I didn't think that maybe this was like a love triangle, but hopefully like it doesn't sound like that's the case, because if you didn't know, I despise love triangles. But I just like, I'm so excited now. I'm like, all I want to do this weekend is read these two books. I need to update you also on the fact that I am over halfway through, like 60% into 4 weeks of Scandal, and I'm loving it. I've actually been reading it kind of slowly across, like, I don't know, for a few days, like, not, probably normal amount for normal people, but I have been like just, reading it kind of slowly and savoring it, and I honestly love that. Cause like I love this book so much, and I want to savor it. I feel like I haven't told you that much about the book, but it is just so like sweet and romantic, and the way that the two of them, the dynamic, basically kind of becomes friends with benefits, but they're not really friends yet. The heroine literally is like, there's tension between us, there's some kind of annoying chemistry, so let's just make out to get it out of our system. And that is kind of like the vibe, how it starts, but just like the dynamic between the dynamic between them is incredible. Like, Octavia is basically like a businesswoman. She has like a gambling house together with her sister. She's very goal driven and independent and really focused on her like career basically. And she's like, one day I want to fall in love and like settle down, but not yet. And then like Gabriel is just like so sweet. Like, I don't know how to describe him, but I'm obsessed with them. I love them, and it's so good, and I'm so happy that I get to read it. I also absolutely need to pre-order this book, because not only is it incredible, I'm obsessed with this cover. Like, I think honestly it might be my favorite cover in the series. Yeah, I'm gonna go read, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi everyone, so it's finally time for an update. I don't think I updated you after I finished this wonderful book, and I absolutely adored it. Like, honestly, who's surprised? Not me. I just loved it so much. I give it 5 stars. It was just so wonderful. Like, it was just so like sweet and romantic and charming and steamy and fun and funny and just like everything I could possibly want. I loved Gabriel and Octavia. I just like, they have the best dynamic, and I'm so happy that I got to read the book, and I need to get a copy when it comes out, and I really hope there are going to be other books in this series, but I'm not sure. And yes, but hopefully Megan Frampton is going to put out a new book soon. I absolutely recommend this book. You all need to check out Megan Frampton in general, and this is definitely one of my favorites. I think this like is my favorite book, along with Tall, Duke, and Dangerous from this series. I just loved it. It was just everything. If you like fake dating and forced proximity, you need to read this. And it's just so domestic as well, and just like I loved it, and I'm so happy. So I also feel like I messed up my makeup a little bit. So this is actually the first time that I'm doing an update in my bedroom. It looks very boring, so I'm sorry about that. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here because I was gonna read another book that I'm super excited for, but I also want to get this video up as soon as possible. I didn't realize that I've been literally filming it for a month basically, because I said that I started it in March and it's literally April 30th. So I think it's gonna come out tomorrow on May 1st. Way later than planned. Time just got away from me, but obviously, you know, with moving and everything, it's been a lot. So I think the book that I started that I wanted to talk to you about, I'm just gonna save for the third part to this series, which I am absolutely gonna start within the next like week or so. Because again, I just love this. And honestly, like it kind of makes sense for me to take a month doing this. Like I don't think I'm gonna do that every time, hopefully. But like since it's like monthly videos, there's no reason why it couldn't take me a month. You know, like yeah. I have so many more exciting books to read that I'm absolutely dying to get to, including Bad at Love and Never Ever Getting Back Together. But the book that I started is actually a different one that is coming out in 2 weeks, and so I want to read that before it's out, obviously. I can't wait to share that with you, but for now, this is gonna be it for this video. It's super long already anyways, so I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you made it this far in the video, leave a candle emoji down below. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you're excited for another part to this series. And yeah, have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!